Now call this meeting to order. We welcome you to the Lafayette Public Utility Authority meeting. We, as your representatives in the LPUA, welcome your involvement and encourage your participation. This meeting is a public hearing. If you wish to address the LPUA on any item on this agenda, please fill out the request form in the foyer. The request to address the LPUA electronic card must be filled out and submitted prior to the call of the agenda item, or you will not be given the opportunity to speak. If assistance is needed with submitting the request, staff is available to help. In the event a speaker has completed their comments prior to the expiration of the allotted 5 minutes, any remaining time shall be forfeited. If you have materials you wish to submit to the LPUA, please give those to the council clerk, Ms. Veronica L. Williams, seated to my left in the middle. In an effort to allow everyone an opportunity to be heard, the 5-minute rule will be in effect. Speakers shall refrain from debating, personal attacks, and from making confrontational or derogatory comments. I'm requesting that the first row to my left be used for media only. Food and drinks are not allowed in the auditorium, and all phones and electronic devices shall be silenced from this point forward. I'm also requesting that anyone who approaches the LPUA state their name and title for the official record. Meeting procedures are by resolution and not by Robert's Rules of Order. Documents, including agendas, ordinances, resolutions, and minutes related to this and other meetings, are posted online at LafayetteLA.gov or refer to the web address on the top of the agenda. All right, a very important part of my chair announcements on this agenda today is to thank Liz Hebert for her service as the LPUA chair for 2018. Gavel just fell off, but anyway. Yeah, it wasn't glued well. Other than that, Liz, the chair of Lafayette Public Utility Authority District 8, January 9, 2018, January 7, 2019, and of course includes all the members of the LPUA. I'm going to keep the gavel in place. Yeah. It looks awkward, but anyway.
I can use it though.
Yes.
It looks like it was put on with hot glue? Yeah.
I can just keep using it.
Yeah. But thank you, Liz, for what you did last year. We appreciate it. And looking forward to 2019. As we had mentioned earlier this month, this is the last year for the LPUA. I don't have any other chair announcements. Anything from the membership on the LPUA? Ms. Cook?
Thank you, Chairman. I would like to announce that, thank you. I would like to announce, along with the Lafayette Utilities, that I will be holding a District 7 Town Hall meeting to provide the public with general information on LUS. The meeting is scheduled for this Thursday, January 24th at 6 p.m. at the Le Pavillon, and it's aimed to answer questions related to the LUS operations, future of the electric system, customer engagement opportunities, future projects, and finally, the public will have an opportunity to ask questions to the staff. Again, this Thursday, which is day after tomorrow, the 24th at 6 p.m. at Le Pavillon. So hopefully you can come. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Ms. Hebert?
Riding Councilwoman Cook's coattails, I'm going to go ahead and announce my District 8 LUS Town Hall meeting. It's going to be held on February 20th at the South Regional Library from 5:30 to 7:30. And that's a District 8 LUS Town Hall meeting at the South Regional Library on February 20th, 2019. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next on the agenda is, are there any other comments from the LPUA? Okay, moving on to recognizing the Mayor President or your representative. In this case, you are here. Do you have anything to report, sir?
Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Robideau. We're so polite today. Next on the agenda is comments from the public on matters related to LUS. V, do we have any public comments?
We do have one speaker.
Then I'll read the announcement. This portion of our meeting is an opportunity to make your voice heard before the LPUA, the administration, and the public. This is the time to speak about LUS topics that are not included as an agenda item. please, we request that all matters regarding specific LUS employees be directed to the administration and that it not be addressed at this public forum. We as the LPUA have a concern for the privacy and protection of government employees. With that said, however, if your concern is not resolved in either an expeditious or satisfactory fashion, there are other avenues which can be pursued, and we ask that you follow up with the council office. Also, confrontational statements and/or threats will not be tolerated. We ask that you conduct yourself in a civil manner and with the same courtesy that you would expect of others. And of course, the 5-minute rule does apply. KV, who do we have up?
Andy Abear.
Mr. Hebert.
Good afternoon. Happy New Year.
Sir.
I would like the records to reflect verbatim that the LPUA did not pass any ordinance or resolution duplicating the call for the abolishment of the LPUA. That would be City Parish Resolution 06055-2018, and that would be Ordinance 0121-2018. There's no duplicate ordinance calling for the abolishment of this authority. I want that in the records. Last week, y'all changed the definition of system, and according to the resolutions or ordinances, it says equipment supplied by the system to remain the property of the system. That's 94-09. Therefore, I will give you a graphic representation of what the system owned. The system owned the fiber cables, the electric system, the water system, and the sewer system. That was under your control. By redefining the word system to exclude fiber, fiber is no longer property of the system. So you just gave away the asset property of Lafayette Utility System simply by redefining it. Because it is no longer under the control of you, it is solely under the control of the parish council. So I want the minutes to reflect that also. I was disappointed. I was hoping one of y'all would at least ask the Attorney General or someone if it is legal for the LPUA not to have duplicate ordinances or resolutions calling for your abolishment. You're going away, and you had nothing to say about it. And according to the charter, it says that anytime the assets or property of the city is to be disposed of in any manner, it goes to the vote of the registered voters of the city of Lafayette. In essence, you've disposed of your authority over the utility system, and you're giving it over to someone else without even calling for a separate election. I don't think that was very fair to the citizens that own LUS. I think there should have been a separate ordinance, a separate vote strictly by the owners of the city of Lafayette Utility System. That's what you were there to protect. I don't think y'all did. I wish y'all would have. But I see nothing's going to happen. It's going to be the same old thing. So I just wanted on record to note that this governing authority of the Lafayette Utility System did nothing to call or hold an election to whether or not the citizens of the city owners should decide whether or not they should turn it over to another governing authority. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hebert. Any other public comment?
No, sir.
Moving on to the one and only item on the agenda is a resolution. Jeremy, would you please read?
Resolution 1, 2019 LPUA, a resolution of the Lafayette Public Utilities Authority expressing its support and desire that the Lafayette Utilities Department expedite the performance of an open and transparent integrated resource plan for the electronic system.
Need a motion? Moved by Ms. Cook, seconded by Ms. Hebert. Any LPUA discussion? I'm the one that asked that the resolution be placed on the agenda. I wanted to make certain that we move ahead on a new integrated resources plan, that I don't think it's dependent upon the employment of a full-time utilities director, that can be expedited without waiting for any action on the part of the administration. And I think with that said, who's going to respond as to what is our status today as we prepare for the IRP? And if you would identify yourself as you come up, please.
Greg Labe, Electric Operations Manager. Right now, we have the RFP prepared. We are planning to send it out, and we are hoping to get the candidates back at the end of February on that part.
And one of the issues that I'm pressing hard and that Jeff Stewart has already identified is to involve the public.
That's correct. We're asking for public meetings and on that.
Do you have a rough, I'm not going to hold you to it, what is a rough timeline of the process?
By the time we get the request review, probably May, having somebody in place.
And then the process would involve town hall meetings or public
Town hall
input?
meetings, reviewing the proposals and going over them.
What are the possibilities of having an IRP updated and in play by the end of the year?
I think very good.
Okay.
On that.
Any other questions from LPUA? Thank you, Greg.
Okay.
Do we have any public comment?
Yes, sir, we do have two speakers. First of which is Mr. Dennis Sullivan, and he will be followed by Kim Goodell.
Did you say Kim Goodell?
Goodell.
Okay, thank you. Dennis?
Good evening, members of the LPUA, Mr. Mayor. Thank you for the opportunity to address you on the subject of our public utility system. My name is Dennis G. Sullivan. I'm a city resident and am ably represented by Mr. Pat Lewis. I have been an active citizen advocate for a more open governance of the Lafayette public utility system for a number of years now. I was a charter member of the League of Women Voters Sierra Club team that began to move LUS governance into the sunshine. I'd like to take a moment to honor the passing this week of Thetis Cusimano, a fellow charter member from the LMW side, and to me and many others, a true inspiration. If I ever get weary of the effort necessary to ensure the best in public governance, I simply remember how aggressively Thetis invested her personal efforts to promote the public good. Thetis's memory will repeatedly shake this shirker out of this Irishman. I am impressed that the idea of open public input into the integrated resource planning or IRP process has finally come to the fore for the Lafayette Parish residents. If we want our public utility to follow the growth patterns desired by its citizen owners, then those citizen owners must have the opportunity to be heard. Being heard should include inclusion of study ideas or areas even before the engineering company is chosen for the actual IRP. The idea behind an IRP is to promote good planning for future energy production for the utility. This becomes even more important when that utility is publicly owned. I encourage the inclusion of public citizens into the planning process to ensure a more open and community-reflective IRP occurs. I am concerned that the separation of the Consolidated Council will see the LPUA disbanded. The idea that the mayor alone can be relied upon to make decisions reflective of the public owner's desires has already been proven to be a trust misplaced. Secret deals and the necessity to follow the money to see what is really prompting LUS decisions makes the whole idea of the IRP process an absurdity, would make it. To put the mayor in such a powerful position without checks and balances is asking for trouble. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Surely this section of the LUS governance needs a bit more work. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next, please.
Kim Goodell.
Ms. Goodell?
Good evening. My name is Kim Goodell. I'm here today as a private citizen. And I'm going to follow Dennis's lead and say that I'm very ably represented by Ms. Liz Hebert. I appreciate the opportunity to address the administration and our city council regarding Resolution 001-2019, a resolution calling for expedited transparent process to submit for action an integrated resources plan. I've already learned some of the questions the answer to some of the questions that I've had by Bruce Conks asking the questions that he did. And I recognize and want to thank both Liz and Nanette for hosting some meetings, some upcoming meetings about this. When the city first proposed in July of 2018 that the Fix the Charter ballot item, I addressed you all then with my concerns of that one item, that one single vote. While we did not have all of the information regarding the Fix the Charter item to make an informed decision, I knew it would be forthcoming. But my expressed concern then was with the city, also in that same ballot item, calling for the dissolution of the LPUA. This concerned me then to not have a local governing board with the singleness of purpose in deciding the direction that our city was going to take to meet our energy needs and to take full advantage of all of the new innovations in the energy sector. As time went on, it was made public what our mayor had already negotiated for the future of our city, a non-binding deal with a venture capitalist firm. Non-binding or not, the foundation was laid. Today, we're being asked to trust the transparency of this process for an IRP. That single document, I dare say, will establish, once approved, the future of Lafayette and neighboring communities, and likely parishes contiguous with Lafayette. I have very serious questions regarding the document, so I am looking forward to the process that you all have established. Today, I have one question or one concern I want to put before the administration, and that's on the resolution itself, where it says, whereas the Utilities Department will present the results of the IRP to the governing body, at the conclusion of the study process. I ask, what governing body are you talking about? Are you talking about City Council? Are you talking about this administration? Or are you talking about the Public Service Commission? In closing, I trust we can trust that this administration will indeed deliver a process completely open and transparent for not only public input, but input from an independent, disinterested, third-party energy engineering specialist. It is our future, it is your process, and our right to be a part of it. The Fix the Charter campaign was all about democracy. I say this process is all about democracy. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. And based on Mr. Labe's earlier comments, if indeed the IRP is completed this year, it would be considered by the LPUA which remains the governing authority under the existing charter. And as far as I know, it would not go to council. It's a report that would be submitted to LPUA. Am I correct in that, Mr. Escott?
I believe so.
Okay, thank you, sir.
I know I'm not supposed to go back and forth, but because it's not on the agenda for city council to follow at 5:30, is that right?
Correct, because this is an LPUA
Okay, so there
issue.
won't be any discussion to the general public about that then?
LPUA issue. Any other public comments?
No, sir.
Okay. With that done, call for a vote on the resolution as proposed.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7? Yes. District 8? Motion to adopt is approved.
One introductory ordinance. Would you read, Jeremy, please?
Ordinance 1, 2019 LPUA, an ordinance of the Lafayette Public Utilities Authority providing for the abandonment of a portion of the alley in the Ard Addition subdivision and 5th Cornet extension and the granting of a 10-foot utility servitude located in the 400 block of Curtis Street.
Needs motion? Moved by Ms. Cook. Second by Ms. Hebert. Do we have any comments as far as the LPUA is concerned? Mr. Boudreau?
Paul, are you very familiar with this? Okay. Do me a favor. Probably about 7, 8 years ago, through Tom Carroll, I asked, how are we going to address alleys and its maintenance and abandonments of? Because there are a number of alleys in my community that are no longer being utilized. They're no longer being maintained, but they were public rights of ways. We have never made any moves on that, but I see in this instance, because it involves a utility matter, we're going to be abandoning a section of an alley. These areas are in horrible condition. So what I'm asking is a way to review and look at how are we going to address this in a more general standpoint, not just when it comes to these type of issues, but if somehow, some way we could address these alley issues, even when they're not related to utilities.
Okay.
And,
You're talking about in terms of maintenance?
Right, and they're no longer being utilized, so like I said, the overgrowth has become pretty bad. And I had asked that we look at abandoning them, but we haven't made any progress on that at all. So if you could just, as you look into this, how we abandoning this portion of an alley to whoever or whatever, how can we possibly consider that with all of our alley facilities? Thank you.
No other LPUA discussion? Any public comments? Then call for the vote, please.
District 4?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
District 3? Motion to introduce is approved.
Okay, next up on the agenda is the director's update. Anything from LUS? Okay, thank you. With that, we are adjourned.